Welcome to another episode of That Crazy Triangle Guy. Here we are looking at Bitcoin US dollar index on the daily time frame. And my God, the daily Gaussian channel has turned red. Oh, what was I thinking? It's all over. We're crashing. Not true. But you will hear that. You probably hear a lot of people getting all doomy and gloomy and bearish. But don't fall for it. It's just a little. Now, we have red here. When have we seen red in the past? It kind of looks scary. Once it turned red, we dumped down. Once it turned red, well, actually before it turned red, we came crashing down, and that's kind of what caused it to turn red. But then once it did, once we had that crash, then we rallied. But that's not what's going on. Well, yeah, we did have a crash here. And that's kind of what has caused it to turn down so much. But we're rallying out of that. Now, let's look back at where, certainly here, red is very, very bad. But once again, turned red because we were crashing down. And even here, turned red because we were crashing down. But let's look at similar previous price action at a similar time in the market to where we are at now after after the world shut down right here. Then we rallied upwards, and this is after the halving, similar to where we're at now. And we came up, consolidated, had a little red action there. And what happened in this red action? Whoa, once again, we shot right up. And this red action here, yep. This red action, once we turned red, that marked a low right there. And kind of traded sideways a little bit and then onwards and upwards. Now in the previous cycle in 2017, oops, that's not it. We have to go back a little further. Didn't get anything that caused the channel to turn red. But we had these similar pullbacks, but they didn't have enough to cause it to turn red. We were a lot pumpier then, and the pullbacks were not as extended as what we're seeing now. So back in where are we? Here we are. So we're starting to see a little bit of red here, but it's probably a good sign as far as I'm concerned, because, like I said, we saw that because of this dump here and moving upwards. Probably not going to see much lower here, then move onwards and upwards out of the channel, which is good because top of the channel is at about 70,000 and some change. So onwards and upwards out of the channel means onwards and upwards past 70,000. So that's great. Let's turn off that Gaussian channel now. Well, before we do, hey, why aren't they showing up here? Hold on a second. Well, they're not showing up because I don't have them turned on. So here we go. Watch this. Right there, I have drawn my estimates, my curves that estimate the daily Gaussian channel. Well, they depict where we are at now and kind of guesstimate where we're going to. But that changes daily, and I adjust these daily. So there we are currently. That way I can turn this channel off and we can still see where we're at in regards to that channel. And we have reference to it for the future here a little bit, a little ways into the future. So I understand that there are a lot of lines here, and believe me, it's going to get worse because these lines are totally necessary. We have the purple channel lines, more specifically this white one in the center, and that is where we explode. We've exploded in the past from into our parabolic bull runs. Right here in the past, in 2020, after we held it as support for quite a while and traveled right along it. And then also, well, here too, in this mid-cycle rally here, we busted through it, held it as support, and had a parabolic run. And here again in 2017, acted as resistance here, and then we pushed up. We just shot right through it and rallied upwards, came back down to the top of it where we held as support, and then continued onwards and upwards. Now I forget if there was any more interaction in the past. Yeah, we did have a little interaction here, even in 2013, where we rallied up to the top of the channel, came back down through it. So we had a little consolidation in this channel area, and then bounced off the center line. We consolidated around the center line of that channel. You can see very clearly. And then once we shot through it, came back down, held it as support, and began our rally. So all three rallies, that white channel has been very, very significant throughout Bitcoin's history. That's why it's there. That's why those lines are on. And that's why they'll stay on. Oh, where are we now? Boy, Bitcoin has a long history. These other vertical lines, yellow ones represent CPI data releases. Blue one is the halving we just had. And the yellow and pink one is the next FOMC meeting and CPI data release on June 12th. Well, not the next one. The next FOMC meeting. And we also have a CPI data release on June 12th. The green line is my prediction of when the bull rally will start. And this yellow line is our next CPI data release next Wednesday, a week from today. Now, we have the aqua channel is our bull flag channel that we've been traveling in and have broken out of it and holding it as support, although we are wicking through it a little bit. We are pretty much closing candle bodies on it. Now, yesterday's candle body, we closed below it, but today's candle body started on it. So, do what you want with that. This light blue line right here is the 21-week moving average. Now, hold on a second. Now, the 21-week moving average is very significant because in our bull rallies, here we are in 2017, we have held it as support. Except right here, that's why I came back here, did wick through it a little bit. Wick on a daily, but held the body there on as support. So that's very, very important to know because we're pretty close to it right now. Pretty darn close to it. We've come down So is it possible that we get a little wick through it? Maybe. But if we did, I don't imagine that we would go down past the center line of this purple channel at around 53.2. Who knows? Maybe we could come all the way down to 49 and a half. I'm talking worst case scenarios here. I don't even think we're gonna breach the moving average here, which is currently at 55,000. I don't even think we're gonna get close, really. I think we've already come as close as we are going to it. So what are we doing now? When I get to the frickin' point already? You know what? This is a learning process, and it's important to understand where we're at, where we've been, where we're at, and that's where we get our analysis. Now, so we are breaking out of this downward consolidation that we've had, and a lot of times when you do that, you'll get a head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders reversal patterns. Now, I've seen where some people have tried to call this, and I was too. I'm like, what are we seeing here? Are we seeing a little tiny shoulder pattern here and a big head? No, that's not it. It's the bigger version here, which I did mention on a previous video. This is the shoulder, this is the head. And typically, you'll get all of this in the downward channel, like one more shoulder here, but we've already broken out of the channel, which is bullish. So could we come back down in the channel? Possibly down to the center line. I mean, the bottom of this channel right here at around 57.2. That's a worst case scenario because I don't think we're going to do that. I'm saying what could happen. Sure, that could happen, but that would bring us back down again out the bottom of the daily Gaussian channel. I think we're going to hold the bottom of the channel as support. And so where would that bring us? That would bring us down following the top of the channel here, heading into the CPI data release next Wednesday. I think we continue on downwards, riding right along the top of the channel, down to the bottom of the daily Gaussian channel. And if we get bad numbers, then possibly you do see that wick down here to about 53,000. Good numbers, but that will be just a wick down, and I think we'll see we will see a daily close back up above the 21-week moving average. I think that's the worst you'll get out of the next week. But what I think is more likely to happen is that we come down right along the bottom of this channel. We might start coming off of it heading into the weekend and into next week. So anyway, down here somewhere. And I think the numbers are going to be good. Either good or not that bad. And the market will quickly forget about it or say, hey, things aren't that bad. Let's go. Let's get moving on this. And remember, there are a lot of people buying up, a lot of big players buying up in this area, and they're not doing it because they think Bitcoin's going down to 50 or 40 or whatever. They're doing it because they know what's going on, man. This thing's I can't believe it's being held down this long. But anyway, people, that's what fear does. People got to get over their fears. So we're forming the rest of the shoulder right here. Coming down here, coming back up here. And I'll turn that little pattern on right now. So here we go. Watch this. I can turn on my drawings. There you go. There's our inverse head and shoulder pattern. Now the neckline is not real clear. Like I said, a lot of times the neckline will be the top of the channel here. But we've already broken out of the channel, which in my opinion is a bullish reversal here. Already broken out of the channel, riding along the channel to form the final shoulder here. So the neckline doesn't have real clear points. I've anchored it here and here, but then the first part of the shoulder kind of doesn't really have much to go off of. I mean, it's not like a real, like it hit it exactly, but you get the picture. Now the target I've drawn is here. I measured that there. I drew the target. I put this little orange X. And why did I put it there in the middle of all that? Why did I? Well, I'm going to add some more lines here. Let's see. We want the May Rally channel. Here, we've added this channel now, which I anchored here on this wick. You know what? I got to zoom in a little bit more. So I anchored it here on this wick, which is typically what you do on the shoulder wick, and over here on this this wick here. You know, you just got to get a feel for this. So I've drawn enough of these that you can. I anchor them on like a wick down here and a wick up there, and I can see which ones clearly are defining the channel, and then here on the head. Now if we switch to like a 4-hour chart, you can see too then how even the center line here came into play. See, when you switch to a lower time frame, you can see how we've interacted with the channel, and you can see the slope that is forming here. So that's what I did, and when I did that, I asked myself, hey, does this, because whenever you draw a new channel, you're like, hey, does this like coincide with a previous channels that I've had in the past? Because I've drawn many channels. I have the white channel, the blue channel, the orange channel. Those are all very significant. I have the green escalator channels. I have all sorts of different channels that I've turned on and off. And right now I'm looking for my green escalator channels. What the heck did I do with them? Did I put them inside here? Maybe I did. Hold on. That's right, I put them by the Gaussian. So let me turn on the green escalator channels from like a long time ago. When I turn those on, look at that. It's pretty much exact that channel that I drew. These green escalators. When did I draw these green escalators? Well, on this chart, I drew them earlier this year but they were taken over from another chart a while ago, and they were from a different time in the past, and I translated them over. So that's why they're only a few months old. But those are our green escalator channels, which is really, really funny. I went and drew a whole new set of channels that I might not really have had to. Wow, and that's amazing. That white channel that I drew, look at this. It is very, 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 very close to exactly parallel to these channels. I mean, it only varies by a little bit, and you have over the course of a year, very slightly. So let's turn off the green escalator channels, because what I've done is clone the white channel that I drew here, and there we go. There's all those channels, little smaller versions of the green escalator channels. But you can see clearly how since October here, September and October, we've traveled within these channels. Up and then over and then up and then over and then up and over. Having a little bit of an extended over here. Well, just like we did back here. But so we're about ready to move on. And when we move on, just like we did here, we'll be heading upwards in this channel. And we even did break up and back up into the next channel here. So, expect the same here. Yeah, we could really easily hit 100,000 in June. I know someone recently called for 100,000 in September, some group, but yeah, I think that's lowballing it. Now, so that's what we got there. Let's turn off all these channels because we don't really need all that. We have inverse head and shoulders. We have this bull rally baseline. This is a baseline that I just drew, a trend line connecting the bottoms of this rally since October. And what's really, really funny is that when you go out to September, if we can, we can't do it on a 4-hour, we got to switch to a daily. If you do go out to September, that's around 100,000. So, like if they're calling for 100,000, they expect us to be around that baseline. But I expect that this is the start of the bull rally, coming up the parabolic move. So we are going to see a lot more than that. But then again, you got the summer. We could kind of just go up and sideways some more over the summer and then really start moving. Who knows? Anyway, all I know is that right now we are about to head upwards here. So what I do see as far as this shoulder forming is that since I've drawn this channel now we kind of have a target. Here's the head as the anchored on the bottom of this channel. So I expect us to come down here to about to the bottom, and note how the bottom of the daily Gaussian channel and the top of this channel and the bottom of this channel all kind of intersect here at around 60, upper 60,000 to 61,000, right around 61,000, give or take. So I think that's probably the bottom of the shoulder. Then we start moving. And what date is that? That is, well, that's on Sunday. And then maybe Monday we start rallying up into the meeting. And at that point, decide whether we're going to, whatever we're going to do, which I think is continue on upwards. And here's the neckline. The neckline would be right here. So once we break that, maybe get a little rejection off the mean band of the Gaussian channel, back down here for a retest, and onwards and upwards. Now the target here is this orange X. So shoulder here, up there, down here, bounce. I don't know if we'll get a little action here at the top of the daily Gaussian channel, maybe come up to the top of this channel, come back down, come back up, something like that. And then we will be, oh, coincidentally, that's right up around 73,000, which is our previous all-time high. So we're getting a little bit extended here. Let's just see what happens the rest of this week and into next week. And like, subscribe, and see you next time.